It's the Lamp Show. In this episode, we're going to talk about how you use your powers of observation to light up your learning in your LAMPS classes and everywhere else.
Welcome back to our next episode of The Lamp Show. What we're talking about today is we're going to be thinking about how we can use observation as a skill in physical education. I did want to just share some news with you. Mr. Bones is not going to be here today. He's a little bit tired from his last episode of the Lampsoween when he had to do all of those costume changes. So hopefully next week he'll be back. He might be in costume, he might be just dressed as himself. But hopefully, fingers crossed, Mr. Bones will be back by then. So when we are talking about observing in PE, for example, we want to practice a skill and we want to make sure that we're doing it correctly, performing it, using our body to move correctly. So we look and we listen and we see how people and how we are performing those skills. And then we take our skill checklist. So in an overhand throw, you want to think of 4 parts. You want to have your body turned side to target. You want to have your arm in an L shape. You want to have your foot stepping towards your target, opposite foot, and then you want to follow through across your body. So you start out sideways and then you turn facing your target. When we throw correctly, our friends, our observers can tell us like, oh, you did a great job, you performed that throw wonderfully. If they see something that we might be able to get some pointers on, maybe they see you do it incorrectly, then they can give you some feedback. So feedback comes from them observing you, and then you also have to use your sense of hearing, and you need to listen to what they're telling you. You can see what they might be showing you of what you can change. You can hear it, and then you can practice it. When we're learning new skills, sometimes we need that demonstration or someone to show us over and over again what our body needs to look like in order to move correctly, safely, and perform that skill well. And it's okay to not know right away what you're going to do. You need to look, you need to listen, you need to practice. So we talked about practice in the last couple of episodes, or a couple of episodes ago. And when you practice, you can get better and better. But if you're practicing it wrong, you need to take that information, see how you're performing, and then take it and make it better so that you can get better and better and better as you get older. It's super important to keep practicing those skills the correct way. So take that information that you can get from observing and put it into the sports and skills that you might be doing. Great work. Keep up the good work practicing, and I will see you in the next episode.
Hello, my wonderful Moore School friends. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of listening. Listening is such a great skill, especially when we're thinking about doing things in regards to music. It doesn't matter whether you're playing an instrument or singing. It's so important that we use our listening skills to make sure that we are singing together or playing together with those that we are performing with. There's a fancy word that describes that, the art of using our good listening skills and being able to sing in tune, completely together or play completely together with those that we are performing with. And that word is called intonation. Say that word with me, intonation. If you go home and tell your parents that you know that the word intonation describes the ability of people to be able to play or sing together in tune, they are going to be very impressed. And that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. We have to be able to use our listening skills to be able to do that. This is not so important if you're singing on your own or playing an instrument on your own, but when we play together in a group or sing together, we want to make sure that our sounds match those who are around us. And so it's so important to use our listening skills to be able to do that. It becomes a little more complicated if you're singing together with someone and you also have the music, the accompaniment that you're trying to match your sound to, because that means that everybody has to match their sound to the sound of the accompaniment, whether it be a piano or other instrument playing. So it's so important that we're doing that. We must use our listening skills to be able to do that. And when we do that, that means that we are in tune and our sound will sound the wonderful way that we want it to be able to sound. And our intonation is correct in that sense. So make sure you're always using your listening ears when you're singing or playing an instrument together with others. And make sure you tell somebody today that you know what the word intonation means and explain a little bit to them about it. Have a wonderful day, friends, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye.
Hola amigos, Mrs. Cartier here, and I'm here with my good friend Boots, who just came back from vacation in the jungle. Don't worry, he quarantined for 14 days before he joined me here today. And my friend Dora, and we're here to talk to you about the importance of observing or observation. So when we're trying to learn a new language, observing is really important. Lots of times when we think about observing, we think about observing with our eyes, but we can observe with our ears too by listening. And listening is a really important skill that we use to help us learn Spanish. We do lots of listening in Spanish class with our videos and our stories and our songs, and we also listen to each other practice speaking. But it's important to be listening all the time. You might be walking down the hall and hear someone say, Buenas tardes. And you might think, wow, they're speaking Spanish and I can speak Spanish too. You might hear it while you're out at the store. You might hear some Spanish while you're just walking down the street with your family. And you might think, wow, I recognize some of those words because I was observing with my ears. It's so important to be a good active listener in Spanish because we learn a lot from listening to each other. So sometimes when Dora and Boots have a little conversation, Buenas tardes, Boots. Hola, Dora. I can listen and I can learn some new words just from listening to what they have to say. So when they come and visit your classroom, they might be able to teach you something too if you listen really carefully. So remember that learning a language isn't all about speaking it, but it's about listening to it too. The more we hear it and the more we use it, the better off we'll be. Am I right, Dora? Claro que sí. Boots, what do you think? Sí. All right. Everybody here agrees that the more we practice, the more we listen, the better off we will be. Adios, amigos.
Hey there, amazing artist. It's me, Mrs. Gleason. Today, we're going to talk about the awesome powers of observation that you need to have to be an artist. It is very important as an artist that you are able to observe or notice things. That can mean you are looking at things carefully or listening to things carefully. An artist has to be a great detective and a great observer. Now, the average person doesn't necessarily observe things as carefully as an artist does. But an artist needs to look closely and notice changes. Drawing is a great thing to think about using your powers of observation with. Here's an example of observing while I draw. If I just draw what I think my favorite superhero looks like, I might not notice all the details. If I'm observing a picture or a Lego version of her, I can carefully find all of the shapes and lines that make up the image when I'm trying to draw. Observing around the contours or edges and observing the shapes something is made of is going to help me use my drawing superpowers much better. next time you begin to draw, make sure you're using your superpowers of observation.
Hello! I spy with my little eye something paper. I have a nice book for you to read this week. This is an I Spy book, and it allows you to use your observation skills to find pictures and other things inside of other pictures. And it's all this wonderful bundle of fun of finding things and using your observation and using your eyes. Have a great day!
Once you learn to use your power of observation and observe things carefully, you could be a detective like me, Detective Dolly.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of The Lamp Show. See you next time.